Hello, everybody, and welcome to your Life is Non-Negotiable podcast. Here is where we try to help women make their health non-negotiable after they have neglected their bodies while caring for the people that they love. And one day you just kind of look down and you don't recognize yourself anymore. You're feeling like crap all the time, right? Zero energy, lack of motivation. Maybe you're on some kind of medications for pains in the body, for depression, panic attacks, anxiety. All sorts of crazy stuff is starting to happen, and we blame it on age, and we blame it for sure on stress. Plays a major role, but there is so much that can be controlled by the foods that we put in our body, the way that we move our body, and of course, managing stress and getting a proper sleeping ritual in place is paramount to helping you feel amazing again. Remember, it's not age. Age is not the side effect of feeling like crap, right? If you look after yourself, if you take care of your body, you can feel amazing as you age. And in most cases, I've often heard that people who pick up their health decades after being 20 years old end up feeling even better than they did when they were 20 years old. So during this podcast, we want to help give you functional medicine strategies. We'll be speaking with guests. And in this point in time, we're sharing with you a 30-day challenge. This is the 30 Do This, Not That challenge. And I'm really excited to have you here. And I do have another 6-week transformation program coming up, which I can tell you about a little later on in the podcast. In the meantime, let's talk about Do This, Not That. And we're going to be talking about those crunchy chips. We all get those snacky sensations at night, usually when we're watching TV, and we feel like we need to sit and just kind of binge a little bit, right? Either binge on Netflix or binge on a bag of chips. And for some reason, we feel like we just got to eat the whole darn thing until the bag is empty. And I know that feeling. It's hard to stop at just one. But we really do need a replacement, because so many people are eating chips that are absolutely horrible for you, just more than just getting fat, right? It's the chemicals that are in those chips that is just horrible. We're going to be talking about that today, and we're going to give you a better alternative. So this doesn't mean that this chip is necessarily amazing and it's like mondo healthy and you're going to be healthy by eating these chips. No, it's just the lesser of the two evils. So we'll be talking about that today. My apologies for people who might be hearing in the background some chip holding, because here on my YouTube channel, on my Facebook channel, this is a video podcast and I will be showing you the products in my hand, but you can hear this podcast on iTunes and Stitcher and Spotify and your favorite directories to hear and watch podcasts. Okay, guys. So first and foremost, if you are a snacker at night, I highly recommend coming up with some other alternatives, right? Some other activities to be doing at night. And maybe it's not flopping down on the couch. If you decide to take a warm bath, sometimes it's a lot harder to eat while you are relaxing the bath, listening to music, reading a book. It's not always conducive to putting things in your mouth, right? And when you are sitting in front of the TV eating, let's remind ourselves that it's a lot of mindless eating, right? We're focused in on what we're watching, and we're not really understanding exactly how many times or how much calories or how many chemicals we're putting in our body in that moment. And most of the time, your body isn't even that hungry, right? You've likely had supper. If you've had supper, you've got plenty of fuel to leave you until the morning. So right now we need to satisfy a habit. For some people that could be drawing, that could be knitting, maybe it's just squeezing onto some stress balls. It could be a lot of different things. Some people choose to walk on their treadmills while they're watching TV, or maybe it's just simply sipping a cup of tea instead of that eating process. But look, we all like that crunch every now and again. So let's talk about what you can do to replace the crunch. So as you can see from my backdrop here, I've got my eat this, not that backdrop. And so one of my replacements, we'll start with the good rather than the evil, is this Beanfield chip. So for those of you who are listening online, it's called Beanfields Bean Chip. It's got 230 calories per serving, and that's about 20 chips. Now, I think you and I both know that you'll very easily devour this bag, as I have many times. So one serving is considered 50 grams, and that is times 3, because the grams of this bag is 150. So you've got to multiply this by 3, because most likely once you start these chips, you don't stop. So that means that there is about 36 grams of fat. There's about 700 calories. Yeah, so you'll take those ingredients in the back and multiply them all by 3. But that really doesn't matter. What you have to understand is what you're putting in your body. Sometimes at the end of the day, although calories in and calories out definitely plays a factor into weight gain or loss, for some people they can eat what they want and it doesn't make any difference. So you do have to understand what you're putting in your body. Is it safe? Is it not safe? So let's start here with the good-ish. First of all, if you're going to have chips at all, you're having tons of carbohydrates. If you're on a weight loss program, if you want to lose fat, having chips is not going to help you in any way. It's definitely going to increase your weight around your butt, belly, and thighs, your triceps, and it's not really an option if you're on a weight loss plan. But if you feel like, as they say, cheating, you may need some options, right? So these are made by black beans. Now, one of the things what I love about these chips is all of the ingredients you can pretty much recognize, okay? So you've got black beans and navy beans. Now you do have a brown rice. So the rice isn't so great. It's another carbohydrate. It's a sugar, so it's going to be that additional sugar, that additional carbohydrate. Remember, beans are super high in carbs. They're also a good protein source, but we're talking a high carb snack here, okay? So we all know that carbs put fat on the body, especially if you're more sedentary. If you're choosing to eat these right before bed, or you're doing this as your nighttime activity snack, remember, you're sitting down the entire time while devouring these, and the likelihood of you getting up and going for a jog outside after the fact is probably pretty minimal. So guaranteed that whatever you do eat out of this bag is going to be on your butt by the morning, okay? Something to consider. Now the safflower oil and the sunflower oils, you need to understand the majority of these oils, no matter what company we're talking about, is not great at all. And when you're choosing to have this form of a snack and you're choosing to get oils in, or put oils into your body, you're going to read, or you're going to hear momentarily my breakdown of oils and what that can do for your body. So it's I'll cover that, and just let me come back to the oils, okay? So the rest is pretty good, all right? You have the seasoning blend of tapioca multidextrin. This is more sugar, keep this in mind, more carbohydrates, but it's not harmful to your health necessarily, okay? You've got salt, tomato powder, more sugar, next ingredient is sugar, onion powder, yeast extract, dehydrated green bell pepper, dehydrated red bell pepper, paprika, natural flavors, and a grill flavor from a sunflower oil. And you have annatto. And annatto is not that harmful either. But we will be talking about natural flavors in a moment when I get over to the other topic, okay? So look, this is a fattening snack. Yes. It will put fat on your butt, belly, and arms. Yes. But when we're talking from a chemical point of view, the neurodisruptors, the endocrine disruptors, all the chemicals in your body that really wreak havoc and could give you very harmful health problems, this is the better choice to do it. because the other chips that we'll be talking about and the ingredients that they have can really mess you up. And please stop feeding them to your kids. And I know you guys may have heard this stuff before, but guess what? It's still on the market. So the majority of population is still consuming this product and is still making a market for this type of product because people are spending money on it. If they're spending money on it, they're putting it in their body. And even worse, they're putting it in their children's bodies. And this is crazy. So yes, I would grab these for that party or that little, you know, the treat that you go to when you go to the movie theaters and you want to, you know, you don't want the horrible popcorn that they have there. This could be an option for you. So I'm going to hold this bag backwards because I don't want any problems from any big companies coming at me and yelling at me. But pretty much any bag like this is an OS. And I even bought the small bag because I didn't even want this product to be in my house for all that long, right? More for demonstration purposes, more than anything else. But the majority of chips, and especially the chips that have the OS in them, are the ones that can cause a lot of health problems. So let us dive in a little bit here and cover what some of the ingredients are. So keep in mind with these, you're usually talking about 12 chips, which would recommend a serving or is the recommended serving. So usually most people have almost 12 chips in one mouthful. And you must understand that these foods have been chemically designed to be crazy addictive. All right, they go into the lab and they study, and there is this ratio that you can learn about in the audiobook, The End of Overeating. So if you are addicted to foods and sugars, The End of Overeating audiobook is a book that I recommend. It talks a lot about the ratio from fat to sugar, the smell, the taste, the texture, and there's actually a crunch factor. And the sensations that go on in your mouth, I'm actually salivating right now. So the sensations as you are crunching and tasting and smelling have a huge impact as to whether or not that food will be addictive or not. And of course, there is this magic sequence between sugar and fat that they create this perfect ratio so that when you're eating, of course, fat and sugar is an energy source. And we are chemically wired to want to have fat and sugar because we are chemically wired to want to have energy. But the only way our body identifies that need for sugar and fat versus the quality of sugar and fat is how it gets processed down throughout the rest of the body. But in your reward center, if it's getting sugar and fat, it's really happy. But the rest of the body has to deal with the types of chemicals and problematic items that they put into these products, and they can be quite harmful. Okay, so let's clarify here. Tiny servings is 150 calories, including 1 gram of saturated fat, 180 mg of sodium, 8% of the daily max, and there's really no vitamins or minerals in these things. Like when you have either of these products, you're not really benefiting from the fiber, from the protein, not to any kind of real health degree, and certainly not one I would trump over having real fruits and vegetables. So although there's a lot of elements to this bag, I really only want to cover the most important ones, but I will briefly skim the list. Okay, so when you see anything with whole corn in it, corn, wheat, soy, these are the three I should say vegetables that are grown that are the cheapest, and they are the easiest to manipulate and scientifically play around with to meet that crucial 5 factor, right? Taste, smell, crunch, texture, and so on. But the thing about corn and soy and wheat is these are designed to bulk you up and to put weight on your body. Not to mention that because these three elements are the highest, most produced, you're going to find that they are likely, like 99.9% likely to be a GMO, which is a genetically modified organism. And the problem with that is that they have played around with those proteins. And the problem with that is it's not easily recognizable for the body. So there are definitely tests done on both sides as to whether GMOs are healthy or not healthy. But the one thing that is scientifically proven is that our bodies have a hard time digesting them. So you'll also know that you've got to deal with any kind of herbicides or pesticides, chemicals, and sprays that have been poured onto these plants while they're growing, and those remain in the food after we finish eating them. And of course, I'm getting a call right now. Okay, next is vegetable oils, and I want to read this little tidbit from you. And this information that I'm sharing with you is coming from the Beanfields.com, okay, Beanfields.com, a very interesting website that gives you the grade, if it's a passing grade or a failing grade. So from A, B, C, all the way to G, gives you the various different types of grades of food and how harmful it is and what are the scientifically proven things, health effects that have happened as a result of people consuming these products. So vegetable oil, much like I said in the first product, this still applies. The process of hydrogenation involves adding hydrogen. Therefore, by changing the chemical makeup of the oil, it changes a liquid oil, naturally high in unsaturated fatty acids, to a more solid and more saturated form. The greater the degree of hydrogenation, the more saturated the fat becomes. This results in an oil that has been converted to a semi-solid fat, which still melts upon baking, stabilizes the flavor of the oil, and makes it less susceptible to spoilage. It is widely used in the processed foods because it's inexpensive, it increases shelf life, and produces a desirable consistency in the food. The process of hydrogenation results in the formation of harmful trans fats. A different type of trans fat naturally occurs in food from animals such as dairy and meat. Trans fats are harmful to the body and are associated with a host of negative health effects, including heart disease. Okay, so these are going to be found in a wide variety of breads, snack foods, desserts, baked goods, cookies, ice cream, frozen meals, basically anything that you go and lay your eyes on. And I guarantee you the majority of restaurant foods that are cooked in vegetable oils are even worse because those vegetable oils have not been cleaned out in a really long time, and they've been reused and reused and reused and become more and more toxic as time goes on. So hundreds of studies have been conducted on the harmful effects of trans fat, including increased cholesterol linked to heart disease and a risk of heart attacks, inflammation of immune system, stroke, diabetes, resistance to insulin, reduces responsiveness of cells and blood vessels, and may also promote the development of Alzheimer's disease. Another really good book that I read by Kate Shanahan is Deep Nutrition, but it's a huge book. So if you have some time, Deep Nutrition really goes deep into the science behind vegetable oils and is very informative. Okay, so as we run through some more of these ingredients here, we're looking at corn multidextrin, which is, of course, it's a food additive. And it's put in there mainly as a bulking agent, okay? You've got corn syrups, which is a type of sugar, which is going to increase your likelihood to put on some fat. We've got salt, tomato powder, cornstarch, lactose, which of course you know is the sugar from milk. And they put the oats in there because they can hide it, right? Some people don't know what lactose is, and they can divide up the amount of sugar that's actually found in these foods. Whey, non-fat milk is a protein powder. Onion powder, more sugar. Garlic powder. Now here's a big one, okay? MSG. MSG is crucial, and any product that has monosodium glutamate, you're going to just quickly put it back on the shelf. Okay, this is horrible. MSG symptoms includes the following: burning sensations on the back of the head, facial pressure, chest pains, headache, nausea, upper body tingling, weakness, palpitations, numbness, muscle tightness, drowsiness. Others reported effects included problems breathing, fibromyalgia, depression, and of course, weight gain, right? Crazy, crazy stuff. Between 1980 and 1994, the FDA received 600 reports of problems due to MSG. The symptoms verified by the FDA included headache, weakness, muscle tightness, numbness, tingling, and flushing. Collectively, these symptoms have been termed the MSG syndrome complex, and the FDA identifies two groups of people who may develop complications from MSG. So you need to understand that in most of Europe, this product is absolutely banned. It's not allowed to be in foods. So why is North America still accepting these? It's determined to be not harmful, and yet at the foodsmart.com website, it's been graded an F. It absolutely fails. Guys, MSG, please don't give this to your kids. When you are reading the ingredients of foods that you're about to give your children, please make sure it does not have monosodium glutamate in it. Other ingredients in this other OS product is cheddar cheese. Cheese is a conversation we're going to have on another podcast. Dextrose is yet another sugar, okay? Malic acid. It's put in there to make usually a tart flavor. It's usually found in a lot of processed foods. You have buttermilk, you have sodium acetate, you have artificial colors, red 40, blue 1, and yellow 5. I'm going to be covering colors on another podcast, but that's a huge one, okay? Spices, citric acid, disodium inositol. Now, today I'm going to cover a little bit more about the natural flavors because those can be found in both of those products. The natural and artificial flavors is basically a term that they're allowed to use, and inside that term of natural flavors can be a host of who knows what. So it's really important to understand that if anything says natural or artificial flavors, or if it just even says natural flavors, it's not necessarily natural. Like when we hear natural flavors, we're thinking, oh, it's natural raspberries that they've squeezed the raspberries and now we've got raspberry juice in it. No, it's a natural flavor could be anything that's natural, right? So companies add natural and artificial flavors to make products taste better. They are created in a lab and the formulations are guarded as trade secrets. In many, but not all cases, the added flavorings compensate for a lack of the natural ingredients you would expect. For example, fruits and fruit snacks or spices in prepared meals. A home prepared dish or snack made with quality ingredients does not need to add natural flavors to the ingredients, right? Because all the natural flavors that are in there are already listed on the ingredients. Oh my gosh. So that was a lot of information. I had to pre-record my podcast today because I'm having trouble going live on my Facebook group. But all to say that I am enjoying this 30-day do this, not that challenge. If you are enjoying this challenge, hashtag 30-day challenge in the comments down below. Would certainly love to hear from you. When these podcasts are streaming live, please do share it with your friends and family because that tells Facebook to post and boost up this post so more people can see it, and it shows them that people are interested in this content. So guys, with that, I'm going to wish you all an amazing day. Remember that your health is non-negotiable. Our next 6-week transformation challenge is coming up right around the corner. We use functional medicine strategies and our online gym that is interactive. I see you, you see me. I can help you and give you modifications to your exercises. I can hold you accountable to showing up, and we want to see you there online. It's just like going to the real gym, but you don't leave your home. You get to work out from your house with the professional guidance of personal trainers and instructors. So with that, guys, I'm going to leave you. Have yourself an amazing day. Go to yourhealthisnonnegotiable.com if you want to participate in our next challenge. In the meantime, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Have yourself an amazing day.